Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my video. And let me introduce myself. My name is Nurafifah. I am one of the students of University West Sulawesi, English Education Department Class B 2019. In this question, I'd like to explain a course English specific proposed by Mr. ISMA. As we can see in the screen, there are some subtopics of the ESP, and I'd like to explain one by one. The first is the origin of ESP. Before that, I'd like to explain what is ESP. As we know, the ESP is defined to meet specific needs of the students, learners, and make us of the underlying methodology, activity of the discipline itself. And there are three main reasons for the emergence of the ESP. The first is the man of the brave new world. It's happened of the 1940 World War, where English has been chosen as the international language because English is the key to international currency, technology, and commerce. And the second is a revolution in linguistics. It means traditional. The purpose of the linguistic is to describe the rules of use English language, namely the grammar. And the third is focus on learners. It means learners have a different wants and needs, which will have important which influence on their motivation to learn, and therefore the effectiveness of their language of their learning. And the next material talk about development of ESP. As we can see in the screen, there are 5 steps to understanding ESP. The first step is the concept of spatial language or register analysis. It means uh, the aim of the analysis of ESP is to identify the grammar and lexical features of the register. And the point of the understanding ESP, it's more important to understand the grammatical first, because in ESP text the grammar context use high level grammar context. And the second is beyond the sentence, rhetorical or discourse analysis. It means students, after the understanding the grammar, a student must be able to understanding the meaning of the sentence in the course that require more understanding the language used in specific language. The third is target situation. It means students must have a goal in studying ESP. Because remember, the goal of ESP is lessons enable students to function adequately in the target situation, where situation students will use daily language learning. And the fourth is skill and strategies. It means in the learning ESPs must have a skill or ability and strategy, because students must have master skill in vocabulary, grammar, and reading. And the five is the learning center approach, where there are 3 strengths that underlie the origin of ESP, namely needs, a new idea about language, and new idea about learning. Language learning is not just talk about reading the book, but learning is a process. And the next material talk about course design. As we can see in the picture, describe how the ESP course. First, I'd like to explain language description. In the language description, there are of the various language ideas that have influence of ESP. The first is classical or grammar. classical or traditional grammar, it means the starting or point of English based on the classical grammar, because based on the analysis of every word in the sentence, because classical language is case language where the grammatical function of each word in the sentence is made clear by the proper grammatical inflection. And the second is structural linguistic. It means uh, the method of the linguistic analysis studied in teaching English for the development substitution tables as a distinction mean of explanation grammatical patterns. And the third is transformational grammar or TG, a grammar. It means a grammar change from the traditional uh, to modern. The development is of a communicative concept, like communication material such as verbal communication, like gesture, posture, etc., media and communication, and relationship between participants, communication topics, and objective. And the pipe is functional or national grammar. It means uh, grammar functional or national grammar, uh, functional related to social behavior and describe the meaning of the author or speaker. And the next is discourse or rhetorical analysis. It means there are two key ways in which results uh, into the nature of discourse have been used in ESP materials, including a certain stage in certain fields. And the second is how many in the generate in a sentence and text. The next material talk about theory of learning. There are some story of the learning. First is behaviorism. It means focuses on learning as habit formation, and mentalism is mean learning is not forming habits but acquiring roles, a process by which individual experience are used by the mind to formulate hypotheses. And the third is cognitive. It means learning has thinking beings, where humans are not thinking, where learning is a thought process where students try to understand data, and learning occurs when students have success in interpreting in the meaning or pattern in the data. And the next is affecting factor. It means learners or humans are not only thinking creatures but also sentient beings or emotional beings. According to Gardner and Lambert, 1972, there are two types of the motivation, including instrumental and integrative. The five is learning and acquisition. As we know, the learning is a process consists or acquisition, and acquisition is of results and acquisitions. The last is a model for learning. It means how the students in the process learning, like communication network is a system. And the next material talk about need analysis. First, I'd like to explain what is target analysis and learning analysis, and then so on. First, target analysis are what students need to do in the target situation, and learning needs are what students need to do in the learning. We know that need is what students need necessary. So and deficiency is the desire of students, or not only identify needs but also identify students' shortage that needs to be analyzed with the ability of the students. Desire is of student form for motivation plays important in language learning because will be difficult if students do not have a motivation to learn language. There are several ways you can analyze needs, namely by analyzing, give a questionnaire, observing, collecting data. And next material talk about this is the lesson material talk about approach course design. There are some approach of course design. First is language-centered course design. It means learning is a center course design of a learning aim. Course learning aim to draw the direct relationship between the objective and the analysis situation. And the second is skill-centered course design, where skill-centered course design are based on the two principles, namely rhetorical and pragmatic. This approach aims to move away from entry-level performance data and pay attention to the competence underlying performance. And the last is learning-centered approach. It means learning is seen as a process where students use the knowledge or skill they have to understand the new information. And learning is an internal process which crucial and learners exceeding in knowledge and their abilities and motivation to use it. Maybe I think enough from me. Thank you very much for your attention and forgive me my mistake. Don't forget to follow my video. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.